let it drop. See if anything comes at it. If not, tap it a little bit. Alright, we got us one. Oh, that's a better fish, guys. Better fish. Hi, I'm Jason from Retired to Fish. I decided to put out a bass fishing for beginners video just because even the folks in my neighborhood were asking me questions, and I thought, you know what's the easiest way to get people started fishing and get them on fish right in the beginning? Well, I want to show you how to fish for bass, big bass, and making it very simple, very easy. There's only so much gear that you actually have to have, and I'm going to go through what gear it is, also how to rig the gear, and then we're going to actually do a demonstration on the water of fishing the gear. What I'm going to do is I'm going to teach you how to fish the Senko. The Senko is the easiest thing to fish, and I'll show you all about it here in just a second. I'll show you how to rig it, what size hooks to buy, everything, and I'll put it in the description. But you can fish the Senko year round. It does not take a pro to fish it. It does not take a pro to rig it up. You can fish from ponds, you can fish from deep water, shallow water, and we're just going to go through all that right now. So right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you what you have to have and what you need to buy to at least get on the water and start catching big fish. So, all right, everybody knows you got to have fishing rod and reels. They make all different types. This is what I grew up fishing. Old school, closed face. You fish it like that. It's simple. I sometimes let kids use it just because it's easy. There's not much to it. You got bait casters, which I wouldn't advise to start out using bait casters. And then you've got my favorite, especially for fishing the Senko. Okay, here's the open face, and I'll even give you, here's the specs, and I'll put them in the description. This is my favorite open face reel. It is the Garcia Revo SX, and the size is size 30. It is perfect for bass fishing. The rod, I myself don't like a long rod. A lot of people like long rods. This is a 6'8" medium extra fast, and the brand is Cadence. To me, this is a very good setup for you to start out bass fishing. And it's a little expensive, but you know you can make your choices and make your decisions. Here is everything you need to buy to start bass fishing. I would advise you to go ahead and get braid line. I use Spiderwire. I use 15-pound test. It's the diameter. I know you can't see a lot on it, but it's a thin diameter, and I found that it is the best weight to get. Like I said, I get Spiderwire. You can buy whatever you like. There's Power Pro. There's all the different kind of brands. This is just what I like, and you can get it at Walmart. So I get the 15-pound braid Spiderwire. Next thing you're going to need is a size 3 offset hook. Whenever you're looking it up, it'll be EWG worm hook. They don't cost a whole lot. I even get Amazon brand. There's all different kinds of brands, but this is a hefty hook. Here's what it'll look like. Next, you're also going to need to buy a circle hook. This is size 2, but you really need to get size 3 circle hooks as well. And I'm going to show you what you're going to do with each one of these. And when we fish, you're going to see how we fish these. So give me a second. I'm going to set up and I'm going to show you how we rig these two baits. We're going to rig the same bait on both hooks. Okay, what I'm going to show you first is called the Texas rig. Texas rigging the Senko is pretty simple. You'll start from the top, you'll push it through. What you're doing is you're trying to hide this hook shank right here, this offset portion. So you push it through about that amount, and you see how I've went through. You bring it all the way down and around. See how it's hiding on that offset portion? Then what you're going to do, at the end, this is going to be a straight line. So you're going to push it through. See how right now you've got the hook exposed right there? Well, during this push through process, you bring it up. So you see now the Texas rig, you see how it's weedless? Here, let me spin it where you can see. I pushed it through just a little bit. That is how you Texas rig a Senko. You fish this whenever you have a little bit of cover, like there is growth under the water. You don't want to pull, or you don't want the hook shank to go through sticks or lilies or whatever it may be. You want it to go through cleanly. You hook it Texas rigged and you fish it that way. So what I'm going to show you next is called a wacky rig. For the purpose of demonstrating hooking the wacky rig, I'm using an octopus hook. However, I highly recommend using a circle hook. Circle hook is not going to have this little kickback shank, and it'll also come in and it basically comes around more. That way, whenever you're fishing it wacky style and you do hit some kind of trash or something in the water, it'll bump over it a little better with a circle hook. This will actually grab off the bottom. So to rig the Senko wacky rig, I myself, a lot of people put them exactly center. I myself hook them right here where Gary Yamamoto has a little open place. I like to put it right in the center of that. It seems very simple. There's not much to it. But that is actually a wacky rigged Senko. Now, let's go over when you would use this, the wacky rig, versus the Texas rig. So, like I said before, the Texas rig would be pulling through shallows where you have a little trash, like undergrowth on the bottom, lilies, whatever it may be. It's weedless. It'll come through it a lot better. The wacky rig, I actually, while I fish from a kayak all the time, when I fish this, basically I'll throw it out behind me and I'll just let it drag behind me. And what it does, as I'm stopping and going, it just bounces through the water. It'll just flutter. So you can actually catch fish on this without doing anything, just trailing it behind you. While I trail this behind, I usually use the Texas rig in front and fish. I highly recommend the Gary Yamamoto Senko. It's the original. It is impregnated with salt. It drops at a very good rate. The only negative thing about this brand is it's expensive, because you only get, I think there's 9 baits, I believe it is. No, 10. There's 10 in this. You get them from Walmart. There's 10 baits in this, where the Bass Pro brand, you can get 16, and they're for about the same price. So get 10 Gary Yamamoto for, I think it's $6, $7, or 16 of the Bass Pro brand for the same amount, $6 or $7. These are also very soft. You catch one fish, and you'll see in my demonstration, you catch one small or big fish, and a lot of times it tears these up. The other brands are a little tougher and they're more durable. So, you know, it's, I like these. I've caught big fish on them. They work, so I keep buying them. So we went through the gear list. We went through how to rig, and now we're going to go onto the water, and I'm going to demonstrate how to actually cast and retrieve and fish these. So it doesn't get much simpler than this, and like I said, you will catch big fish, big bass with this setup. All right, so we've learned about gear, how to rig, and today we're going to learn the techniques of fishing. And really, we're primarily going to fish the Yamamoto Senko, the green pumpkin black flake. I'm fishing it on the front and the back. And what I mean, all right, on the front, I'm actually going to target bass with the Texas rig that we talked about. See there? Texas rigged. It's weedless. It's set up on the 3/0 hook, or the size 3 hook, offset hook that we talked about. That's what I'm going to be primarily fishing with in the front. In the back, I don't have a circle hook on that we talked about, but I have an octopus hook. On the back, I'm going to be using the wacky rigged Yamamoto Senko, the green pumpkin black flake. And all we're going to do, we're going to throw it out behind us, and we're going to just let it drag. And what happens is, you see that little flop, the little flop, as we slow down and take off in the water, it's just going to do an automatic flop. All right, so you can fish these from the bank, and I'll recommend, if there's like mosses and grasses and stuff like that, use the Texas rig whenever you're fishing the banks. If you're fishing, throwing out to the center and just rigging slow, and or retrieving slow, use the wacky rig. The wacky rig will probably get you more bites in pond fishing, but you're just going to be kind of watching the techniques, and I'm going to catch a few fish. Like I said, the biggest part of this was me talking you through how to rig, what gear to buy, and that's all going to be in the description, like I said before. But let's get started. We're just gonna start fishing. We're gonna allow my Senko that's wacky rigged to still trail. We're gonna go through the center of this little channel. It's about 10 to 15 foot according to where you're at. And we're just gonna take this Texas rigged Senko and fish both sides of the bank. Okay, so to retrieve, I'm throwing it close to the cover, letting it soak for a second, just to give the time for it to drop, and it makes a good drop presentation. Then just gently tap. You tap it enough to move it and will make it fall again. There's one. There's one. All right, we've been out here 10 minutes, just long enough to get down to this little channel. And there's our first fish. It's not a biggie. I gotta look over at the gator, because the last thing we want is that gator coming over to us. All right, well, he swallowed it. So this is not good. This doesn't happen a lot, but it does happen. So what you do is you try to get all the way down in there to get as centered to the hook as you can. And the only thing you can do is get it out. He will probably live, may not though. So we're gonna let him go as quick as we can. He wasn't a big fish. Every fish is a good fish, right? All right, we got a second fish of the day. It's a little one though. Yeah, it kept hitting. I felt it. I guess that's why. Whoa, easy, Wasper. Hey, slow down for me. Need to be bass. But you know what? They're all fun. The big ones are more fun, but these small ones are fun too. So again, this has like trash in it at 2 feet, and then it drops off to about 7. So we're just kind of working the top of the trash to the drop off. Oh, big gator in front of me. Woo! Big boy. I'll show you if he's still up. Oh, he is huge too. I'll try to zoom in just because that's a biggie. All right, number 3 fish. It's not big. No, it's little. Let's get him out of the water so he don't bring that gator over here. Splashing. So that 2 fish, 2 little fish. That's all for the Yamamoto. But look how dark he is though. It's very pretty. So I may use that as a drag behind bait, because you can still use it for the wacky. All right, good. That gator doesn't want anything to do with me, so that's nice anyway. So he's taking off the other way. I'm glad I didn't have to show you the gator. I don't mind the small ones when they're really big, and sometimes they're territorial and you have to go around them. They don't go under. I can do without those gators. I was off my target just a little bit. That wind will move it a little. I got a tap and I got the fish. Small fish again. We haven't had the big ones today. The first fish was okay, but these are just bait tears. Tear our bait up. Pretty black color though. Look at that pretty black color. Bye bye, buddy. Go get Grandpa. Tell him I'm waiting for him. All right, we got us one. It's a better fish. Better fish. Not big, better. Better than the little ones. How about that? Well, I at least want a lippable fish. A little bass. Not bad. But where there's smaller fish, there's bigger fish, so let's keep working, okay? Just throw it, let it drop, see if anything comes at it. If not, tap it a little bit. All right, we got us one. Oh, that's a better fish, guys. Better fish. And I just wanted to make sure I had a... It's a better one. It's not huge, but it's better. Alright. Definitely a better fish. Definitely a better fish. Let me see if I can get it without. There we go. It's a little better fish. So basically, throw it out, let it drop and sit, tap it a couple times to bring it in. Come on, buddy. All right. All right. It's not a big fish, but I'm dragging him across the top right now. But you saw he was feeding, threw it in there, and he hit as soon as it hit the water. Easy there, buddy. You're almost big enough to lift. Not a bad fish. It's a good fight. All right, we got us another one here. Let's see what we got. It's shaking hard. All right, that's a better fish. All right, let's get him up here though. All right. Oh boy, he got me. My hook. Well, that's gonna happen sometime. Not a bad fish. It's not a bad fish, and I was working it the same way. I would throw it, let it drop and set, and then work it just a little slow. All right, finally got one on the soak. Not a big one, but it was one on the wacky anyway. Back up a little bit. I'm running over my line in front of me. I got one on it anyway. I'm gonna put that one up because we're almost done for the day. I'm gonna finish out here. All right. It doesn't seem like a big fish, but oh wait. Oh, it got off, I think. Yes. It felt like it was better after I didn't get to set the hook, though. I didn't set the hook at all on that fish. It was swimming towards me the whole time, then it turned around and it felt good after that. So, you know, you win some, you lose some. And we lost that one. All right, we're done fishing for the day. It is too hot. It's midday. I think it's about 12 o'clock or 11:30 or 12 o'clock. I'm going to summarize some of the things we talked about. You can use an open face like I have. You can use a closed face that reel like this. A lot of beginners use those. You can use a bait caster. But the big thing that you really need to know is about a 15-pound braid for bass. If you're in throwing around docks and stuff, you may want to use a leader. But for this lake here, I don't. It's straight braid. I use a size 3 offset hook whenever I hook the Texas rig, the Senko. I use a circle hook when I wacky rig the Senko. It's a great bait. It is the beginner bait. It's a bait that anyone can use. You saw me catching some fish here. All I do, I throw it, let it drift down, twitch it a few times, and reel it in, do it again. Anything that you want to see in my videos, please just let me know. Thanks for watching. We're out of here. It's hot. Bye-bye.